Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm finally making another Yu-Gi-Oh video because I did some gaming. Did not work out as well. So today I'm going to be showing you my competitive Cyber Dragon build. It is pretty powerful, but it also is pretty expensive. I tried to make Cyber Dragons as consistent as possible because they really do struggle with consistency a lot. But I don't run Power Prosperity because I think that A, the price is way too high, and B, the extra deck cost is way too much because you need your entire extra deck for this build. You're going to need to be accessing all of that. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the main deck first. So first thing you're going to want to do, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. Let me just move that to the middle, Jesus. This is Cyber Dragon. What more do you want me to say about it? It's kind of necessary for the deck, not gonna lie. Next up, you're going to want to be running 3 core. It's your searcher. It's the best normal summon searcher in the game, in my opinion, just because of how OP the graveyard effect is, too. Next, we're going to need 3 Cyber Dragon Hers for the free search, because that's a free infinity if you have Galaxy Soldier and that in your hand. And then lastly, I'm going to be running 1 Noxter. I prefer 2, but this deck does not have a lot of space in it. It's already 42 cards. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, and YouTubers like Paul from Team APS are saying that they regret running 2 because if you do draw it, it's kind of a brick. Not really. So I tried to limit the amount of bricks possible in this deck. Next up, we're going to be running 2 Galaxy Soldier because you kind of have to. I did this build without Galaxy Soldier because I couldn't get the second one. If you don't have at least 2, there's no point in running it. But yeah, this deck really likes Galaxy Soldier. I wouldn't say it doesn't function without it. I would just say it doesn't function as well. Okay, next up, I'm going to be running the Symphonic engine. So I'm going to be running 3 Symphonic Warrior Guitar. I know it's an old engine, but like it's an extra normal summon, and Mike's is level 5, so you can go into Xyz's 5 plays. Next, we're going to be running 2 Mikes because you can set the Pendulum Scale and get your extra normal summon. And a Pendulum Scale in Cyber Dragons, it's kind of broken, not going to lie. Especially since it's a scale 1 and a scale 7. Next, we're going to be running 2 Kaijus because this deck has almost no outs to Dragoon. And while it's not as prominent in the meta game as it was recently, it's still pretty prominent. Still a very, very tough card. Next up, we're going to be running the Danger engine. So 1 Danger Nessie and 1 Danger Bigfoot. I like the Danger engine. It's a free monster, a free draw, or either a free search or a free pop. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And if they choose hers, it's even better because you don't even lose any advantage. Next up, we're going to be running 3 Effect Veiler. This is not a hand trap heavy deck, and I don't have Ash Blossom. If you have Ash Blossom, I'd trade Ash for the Effect Veilers. But, I mean, potato, tomato. They're both used kind of similarly. This isn't as popular now, though, because Eldritch is in the meta more. And then, finally, we're going to be running Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon for the Dragoon engine, because this deck cannot function without it. If you're going to go on a competitive level, you need Dragoon. It's not an option. Next up, we're going to be running 3 Cyber Emergency. It's a search. What do you want me to say about this? I mean, I guess if they negate it, they lose a hand trap, you gain advantage, good for you, but I mean, everyone knows that. It's a Cyber Dragon deck. You have to know it. Cyber Rev System. It's a monster reborn for Cyber Dragons, let's be real. A lot of these cards is pretty self-explanatory. Cyber Repair Plant to search out your Jizukiru and your Galaxy Soldier. 3 Machine Dupe, because Core plus Machine Dupe equals an instant win pretty much if they don't have an out. 2 Power Bond because I like high attack points. This deck was made for high attack. I feel like people are going way too much into like the combo aspect of Cyber Dragons. I like more the big monster go burr. 1 Overload Fusion because you can search it with Verte, so yeah. Red Eyes Fusion for Dragoon engine. I caught a lot of people. I went to an OTS. I caught a lot of people by surprise with the called by. So one time, here's a funny story. I activated Red Eyes Fusion because it was my lucky top deck I was about to lose. I activated I had 2 cards in my hand, Red Eyes Fusion and Called By. I activated Red Eyes Fusion. They ashed the Red Eyes, so I called by the Ash. And then I immediately won that game because they were running Sky Strikers. They don't really have an out to Dragoon. So yeah, highly recommend this card. This thing carried. Like, hard carried. Then lastly, we're going running Pod Desires. I don't like this card. I banished all of my important cards way too much. If you can trade this for like any other draw engine, do it. I just don't have a better one. For traps, we're going to have one Cybernetic Overflow. Pops. It doesn't target, by the way. That's good to know in case your opponent asks for targets. You don't need to tell them. And then 3 Imperm, because that's your last hand trap. Okay, now on to the extra deck. Let me just put this away to the side. Going to be running 2 Cyber Dragon Infinity, because it's a negation and it has an absorption effect. So you can get Verte out, activate the effect Infinity to absorb the Verte after you summon your Dragoon. 2 Cyber Dragon Nova. The attacking effect actually was a bit relevant. I got a bit cold. But yeah, the 4/200 attack, it actually got me game once. Pretty useful. Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. This is an OTK deck. Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon is a 1-card OTK. This thing can get to crazy high attack points. Yeah, I love that card, man. It's one of my favorite cards. And then now for my actual favorite card, Zeus. I like breaking my board, especially during my opponent's turn, because it's going to be so devastating against some decks. But if you're versing Eldritch, not so much. In case you can't tell, I really hate Eldritch. Next up, we're running 2 Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon to counter extra monster zones. Everyone's running their generic Link monster. Let's face it. Name one competitive deck that does not have a Link monster in it. And also, it works against Geomath Mech Sigma. And also against the Adignister boss monster I can't remember the name of. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. It's Cyber Dragons. What did you want? 2 Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Again, standard Cyber Dragons. So I am running 2 in case they are running a deck that is heavy on banishing. Because I hate decks like DD Crow, and normally Cyber Dragons would crumble to that, but I had to make it so my build wouldn't. Cyber Dragons have a lot of weaknesses, but they do have cards that can mitigate those weaknesses, kind of. So that's pretty much what this build is about. This is the anti-meta build. 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because not a lot of decks have an out to Dark Dragoon nowadays. Like Sky Strikers don't really have an out, because mainly they're worried about the DPE package. So like, yeah, the only way that most decks can stop this from getting out is to stop it before it gets out. 1 Cyger, in case you have to use Overload Fusion to summon your Rampage, so you can still get that beefy attack. And if you do it for your 4200, you get 6300, 3 attacks, game. Predplant Verte Anaconda. What do you think? And Almirage. I don't have anything better to put in. Though, I am kind of debating, and leave this in the comments, I'm kind of debating trading out Almirage in order to get Invoked Macabre into the deck, because it's a very good target for Nova. So yeah, if you guys think I should do that, comment. And now, my side deck. I had it off to the side here, hold up. 1 Cyber End Dragon. If you're versing Eldritch, that you summon Nova. They pop your Nova with Conquistador. You get out your 4K attack monster with Piercing. They're kind of screwed because that's Piercing, so they can't Mind Drain it. Actually, will Mind Drain work against it? Yeah, Mind Drain will work against it, but if they don't have Mind Drain, then they can't stall out. So yeah, 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber in case they don't have a lot of cards with a lot of destruction immunity. Because untargeted monster removal, even if it's graveyard removal, is still very good. 1 Harpy Feather Duster. I hate Eldritch. 3 Raigeki, because I hate every other deck too. 3 Twin Twisters. I hate Eldritch. 3 Mind Drain. This counters a lot of decks, actually, and doesn't hinder your deck. This card will block out your Galaxy Soldier, and it will block out your Naxter, but against Eldritch, I used this against an Eldritch player. It was an immediate win. They pretty much just scooped the last 2 games. So yeah, very good card. Highly recommend. It did win me a bunch of games. And lastly, the card that I love. People have been sleeping on this card for way too long. That's right. Witch's Strike. It nukes everything, including the hand. Why would you not want that? Are you dumb? Against Invoked, it's a free win. And I did go to an OTS where like 5 people were running the Invoked Dogmatica Shit All of It build. So yeah, that's going to be my build. This is the anti-meta build. So bring this to like your locals. Bring this to the sweaty locals. Don't bring this to like your casual locals, because they don't have the card that these are meant to counter. So yeah, that was the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. And see you next time.